how's it going? Thanks for coming, thanks for watching. Today I'm going to show you how to drop the fuel tank and replace the fuel pump on a 1998 Ford Ranger. So this Ford Ranger is a 1998, it does have an engine swap, but doesn't apply to this video. So today we're going to drop the tank and I'll show you how to get to and access the fuel pump so you can replace it when it's bad. So the first thing you're going to want to do basically is go underneath the truck and start taking the tank out. If your pump failed and you confirm that it failed, hopefully you didn't have very much gas in the tank. It'll make it a lot easier to actually get the tank out of the vehicle. If you do have more, like a half to 3/4 of a tank, you have more gas in the tank and it fails, don't worry about it. You can go buy a little hand pump. You can get them at Walmart or anywhere else. I think they're like $5 or $6. It's just a little hand pump. So here's the filler neck on the Ranger. It just comes down. There is a screen in here about halfway down, so you're not going to be able to actually stick the hose in there, so you can't siphon anything. But you'll be able to pop this filler neck off, and you can stuff a hose down there and actually start to hand pump the gas out of the tank. Worst case scenario, if not, you can just drop it with a little bit of gas in the tank. Just 3 screws in there. I believe they're 7mm. Took those things out. Flop the filler neck down, and I'll start to take the tank out. The tank is going to be held in by a bunch of these 13mm bolts here. There's like a little belly pan underneath the tank. So I'm going to take out all of these bolts holding this pan in, and then we can drop the tank out. Tank is also held in by these straps that go around the bottom of the tank, and there's a bolt on each side of the strap. Or actually there's a bolt on one side of the strap, and there's 2 bolts total. So that's basically the only thing that's holding the tank up is those 2 bolts there. Alright, so now that that bottom plate is off, all we have is these 2 bolts up here, and then those straps will come right off.
Ryan Little.
Alright, so now that I got the back end of the tank down, I'm going to come up here and I'm going to start unhooking all of these fittings. Basically gonna unhook this gray plug, and then I'll unhook those couple lines coming off the tank, and then I'll be able to drop it straight down. I'm going to leave the filler neck and stuff hooked up because I can get the I can actually get the filler neck to come through this framework here, if I remember correctly from the last one I did. So I'm going to flip that over, and then I'll get that to come right through. So this one just has the 2, sometimes there's 3. 2 little clippy dippies, and it comes right off. There's also one in the back right here. One of the evap lines, so don't forget about that one. So I got the tank out now. I did have to jack the back of the truck up a little bit so it'll clear the axle once you drop it down. So this filler neck, basically what I did to get it through the frame rail, between the frame rail and the bed, just twisted it over like this, and then you can push it through forward, and it goes right on over the frame rail in between the bed, and it'll come right out because it's got that angle on it. It works pretty good. Now that we got this thing out of here, basically we're going to take this outer ring and we're going to twist this thing off. It's going to turn off just like a regular cap, counterclockwise down from the top. It does take a little bit of effort, and I'm just going to probably use a screwdriver or something, and we'll tap on this with a hammer and we'll get it to come right off. Just going to go give it a couple taps, and you'll see I'm going to hit on these little raised edges, and then it should start to twist off. Sometimes they're a lot more stubborn than that. This one was actually pretty easy. So this ring will just twist right off. Off as you want, and then this whole sending unit assembly will just come right out. Alright, so as we pull this thing out, if you're just going to be replacing the fuel pump, if your fuel pump is bad, so this will just come out, and there's a couple different options that you have here with this assembly. So you can replace this entire assembly, which is actually what I would recommend doing. You can buy this. This is your float that senses your level for the fuel, and this sends a signal to your gauge, so that you can actually replace this whole assembly all in one piece, which has the wiring and everything else on it. And that's what I would recommend doing, is just taking this whole piece out, put the new one in, and then put the tank back in, and you're good to go. The other option is just to replace the pump. So this section down here is the actual fuel pump. You can see the electronics and the wiring coming down. This is your pump, pumps fuel up here. This is the fuel pressure regulator, sending fuel up, and this is the extra fuel going back down into the tank after it's regulated. So the extra fuel needs to come back down. So you can replace just this section. You can see it'll come off right there. Just replace this, it unplugs. So that's your actual fuel pump. But you can replace this entire sending unit assembly, and that's actually what I would recommend doing. That way you have the whole thing as all brand new parts, but this would be just a little bit cheaper. After that, here you go. Put the new one back in. Put this back on the top. Either turn it backwards till it drops down. When you know your thread's grabbed, put this thing back on. Get it hand tight, and then you can go and give it some taps. Get it tight, and now you're done. Next steps after this would be the reverse of everything that we did before. So jack the truck back up, put the tank under, lift it up, and bolt it back in. Alright, so as I said, the next steps are just the reverse of what we did in the beginning. You're gonna put the sending unit assembly back in, put the tank back underneath the truck, lift it back up, bolt it in there, hook up all the wiring and the fuel lines, make sure you don't have any leaks and everything's hooked up properly, and then you should be good to go, and now you have a working fuel pump. So it's actually pretty easy, a little bit time consuming, and it's really not that bad to do it. I think the last one I did was like $80 for the whole sending unit assembly for a kind of a no-name brand, but you can get the actual factory replacements for anywhere from $150 to $200 depending on the vehicle. So I'd say you have about a $70 to $200 plus range depending on the vehicle for the whole sending unit assembly. It's really not that bad to do it, and easy to do yourself. So that's it for this one. Thanks for watching. So hopefully this video helped you. I just wanted to add, I'm not a mechanic. I'm just a guy in the garage working on stuff just like you, trying to figure out how to do it. And hopefully I can teach you guys something, or hopefully you learn something. If you like the video and you feel like you learned anything, feel free to subscribe and stay tuned for the next one. Thanks.